And thank you. And see, the topic which we are going to take is again very, very important topic. So as forensics are concerned, whenever we'll talk about forensics, a lot of things, a lot of new dimensions which are about to come across in front of us. Well, I think just because of some disconnectivity, I'm not here, like whether you mentioned that part or not. Luckily, today I'm connected with a lot of law enforcement agencies and being working as a consultant also for them, where actually we face a lot of challenges in terms of investigation, in terms of even evidence collections. So whenever we are talking about like a cyber forensics part, lot of areas, lot of the concepts which are occurring in front of us. New challenges are there, right? So the new type of challenges are there. Okay, so am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. So see, whenever we are talking about the cyber forensics part itself is a very dynamic nowadays, because now we are not only talking about some running of some third-party tools, some applications to find out the artifacts of a system or not. Well, today, like I would like to take you inside of the real forensics process. I want to show you some real open source tools where we can talk about a lot of activities which are there in terms of forensics using open source. I would like to show you like the real concern about like how we can go for a cryptography or even the applications which are available in the market, especially for forensics part. What are the real tools behind those applications? So I would like to show you that part, how practically we can implement. And further, I would like to take you to the extent to the area of again forensics, which is again one of the another dimension of forensics, that is a mobile forensics. So what is this forensics all about? I think we are talking about like in the terms like the post-mortem, right? So post-mortem is like the way how we generally represent this forensics. We are talking about autopsy. We talk about various kind of activities which we need to perform. Okay. So yeah. So a lot of things which we have to cover generally whenever the terms forensics comes across. Well, nowadays forensics is like again going to the new era. Means why I'm saying so, because see, just try and understand the model. Earlier we used to call about like forensics means we have some hard disk where some artifacts are there and we want to try to find out certain artifact out of it, which is quite relevant, because yes, a lot of interactive tools are available, like even autopsy itself is one of the very good tool if you have really work out on it. Or I hope you heard about the software called Encase. So Encase is again one of the tool where you might have work out to for especially for analytical purpose or so. So but always it is not the part. There are a lot of other areas where we have to cross check and to grab the information out of the forensics. Now basically forensics are coming and connected with a new concept like artificial intelligence, machine learning algorithms, because it's not always in the passive mode. We are talking about in the active mode also. So first, whenever we are working on the forensic, we have to check like where is my data all about. So data is in the rest mode or it is in the motion mode. So in case if the data is in the motion mode, and because nowadays mostly our data is in the motion mode, so that previous forensics concept is somewhere about to obsolete. Reason, because now we have a data on the network, we have a data on the cloud drives, we have a data on IoT devices, we have a data generally on mobile, right? So our most of the data is somewhere stored with the virtual drives and virtual connectivities and all. So how to get into the forensics for that particular purpose is again another challenge. However, now the concept is little dynamic. Why I'm saying dynamic? Because say, okay, I think I'll take a case study, and then I think you'll be able to understand what is a real concept and what exactly I want to convey in that particular part. Right. Let us take a case study. Suppose I have to connect with, let's say, a law, cyber laws. Now my concern is, let us say there is a case of data theft. Now, if there is a case of data theft, suppose let us take a hypothetical case. Let's say somebody came with their USB or even their mobile, and let's say they connect to my computer. The moment they'll connect to my computer, what they are doing, they are basically trying to identify some files. They'll copy some files and take it away without the owner's permission. So without the owner's permission, and intentionally they did so with some ill will, and the purpose is to give some harm to the owner of that content, right? In that case, in that particular scenario, if certain things are there, now let us say the person get to know that my data was somewhere compromised, and the victim is not aware like where their data is compromised. So how we identify, what is the technique to identify that really the data has been compromised or not? So if I'll correlate with your cyber laws also, right? So according to Information Technology Amendment Act 2008, ITAA 2008, section 43, which is under chapter number 9, section 43, under there is a clause 43, have almost 10 good subclauses. So there is a one clause B, 43 subclause B is there, which says any person who is try to capture the content without the owner permission by using some removable drives and able to capture some content or demolish a content or try to copy without any permission, target's permission, is again basically again a part of attempt to hack, and it is a offensive activity, right? So but because somebody who did so is for a general purpose, and the person is innocent, and they don't have any criminal intimidation or any ill will, then generally this 43 is applicable. Okay, but if the person at the same point of time is having a ill will with a criminal intimidation, that they really want to give a harm to the owner of that content, then the same thing proceed to the section 66 of IT Act Amendment 2008. So if that section comes with the 43, then there is a penalty. Then there is no, it's a bailable section actually, 43, right? So there is a bail on 43, and but again we can go proceed with the civil proceedings, where the compensation is even up to 1 crore rupee. Now the concern comes across that somebody who copied a content, even though today somebody would come to you and take your mobile phone and they capture some information from your mobile phone without your permission, and they plug a pen drive, or OTG cables are there and such cables are available. Now how we can able to understand, how we get some evidence out of it? So now my data, is it in the motion, or is it in the rest, or in a dynamic format? So this is what like I was actually trying to convey, like what is cyber forensics all about, and how it is categorized in the versatile model. So now the concern, like this is what if the case is all about. So in this case, now if I'll ask you a question, like do you really believe there is a some kind of logs, or is there any kind of evidence left in the operating system that somebody copied my content using pen drives? And suppose if there is a case, how we can resolve such cases, how we can identify those information from our systems. So that kind of challenges actually comes across various times, right? And now think from the investigative purpose, or even being a technical, I think you all are already pursuing, you are already the academicians and connected to renowned institutions. So your job is, and again this is again the area for the research also, right? So even in the case of research, can we able to identify certain artifacts? Can we able to identify certain kind of case studies, like things which happens, or when it happens, what it happens? So how we can consider these things and connect with this particular part? And even at the same time, if it is with the criminal intimidation, then section 66 IT Act Amendment 2008 is 100% applicable, which is non-bailable. Okay, then in that case, the accused need to take a bail from the court, right? And under that, basically what the criteria is, yeah, that is in chapter number 11, section 66. And the penalty for that is like 3 years imprisonment, 5 lakh rupees, or both. So that kind of penalties are there, but really we are aware of it or not? No, generally not. So now this is the case. Suppose this is the case in front of us. How you'll identify it? How you'll work out on it? Right. So we have to think from a very close point of view. We have to find the details even from our operating systems. Can we able to capture the details? Can we able to identify the details? I believe, and I really prefer if the participants can also answer or connect and share their some information would be really great. Anybody know, like, would you like to solve this case? Suppose I have given you this use case. Would you, really how you start working on this? Now we have to get into forensics. Okay, and for forensics means we have to collect some digital evidence. And one of the most important part, we have to preserve these evidences, and preserve in the sense, and again we have to produce these evidences in front of court. So these are the type of challenges I think generally we have to work out, and then you realize, okay, what are the real concern and how we have to handle such things. So practically I would like to share these points with you, and really appreciate if you can answer. Somebody at least try and answer what would be the procedure of evidence collection. What is the procedure for identifying the details, finding the information from your computer? Like let us say you are using Windows 7 or Windows 10 operating system, right? So if you have a regular computer, somebody came on specific date or whatever, if you have some time frame or some idea, somebody came, connect their pen drives, capture the information and take it away. Now how you identify it? What would be the procedure?
Sir, by
Yes,
checking the log.
by checking the logs. Wonderful, great. So Mr. Khan, you are quite right. But have you ever tried to check the logs of Windows operating system ever? Because generally, I'll tell you why I'm saying so. You're very right. Like generally we'll go with the log analysis is one of the real concern, because only that kind of artifacts which are left, right? So in the
Sir,
logs, yes, information is there in the logs. Yes, please.
Sir, I tried to check logs in Linux, not in Windows.
Okay,
There is
okay.
a separate folder.
There
Sir,
is a
separate folder for logs, sir.
That's right. /var/log is a folder, and actually you have a syslogs, even the kernel logs in the case of Linux, right? Where you will get the information, and obviously we are going to find the details also from the logs. But the problem is, like, if you talk about this case study, in this case study, even if you are going to capture such files or something, so for data copying, if somebody is copying your files in the removable drives, the limitation is like even Linux or Windows, they don't have a direct logs for this particular task. Can you imagine? Even you go to the logs, I'll talk about like syslogs or dmessage logs in case if you are good in Linux. So really I appreciate if you are working. Even I personally work on Linux also, right? But at the same time, if you connect with the Windows logs, so generally you have event viewer, and you go to event viewer and try to identify system log, security log, or application based logs. So there you might find some activity being performed by the system, but you will never get that these are the files being copied from so and so date from this device to that device. So actually data copying logs are missing every time. There is no log as such where you will find that some files were copied. Okay, so that is the constraint in our operating system, because it is not a task oriented. It is basically the process being handled on a very core level, on a ground level. Okay, so you might get the logs, like some activity being performed, and think practically now. So where these logs are available, obviously it is in the form of logs only, but there are certain files, there are certain registries are also there. In case if I'll talk about Windows, or in case of Linux, yes, syslogs are already there, right? So you can go and explore those logs. In case of Linux, you will find that one of the device which has been connected, so you might get /dev/sdb, or that kind of drive letters in Linux, where in Windows you will get might be a D drive, E drive being it's a nowadays plug and play process. So when it happened, and how many times it happens, and on which date it happens, which drive letter was there, it is quite difficult to find out certain details which still lies in your logs, right? So I would like to show you, like, certain tools are there to investigate such cases and to find the information out of it, right? Quickly, I'm going to share a screen with you which gives you the detail, like when I connect some pen drives or certain details. So you will find all that information on that basis. So just give me a minute. I'll share my screen, right? Yeah, I hope now you can see my screen also, right? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I'm using we are just to inform you, like, we are the India's only company. We filed patent in 2011. Basically, we designed our own operating system. So this is India's first operating system, patented operating system, and the name of this operating system is Sedulity operating system. So it is from our company's name, and we are working on this ground. It's been almost now 15 years, right? And even we filed patent in 2011. So this is again, like, we are core from the Linux part and open source process. You can take it like similar like other Linux operating system, like you have a Ubuntu or Fedora. So this kernel is again Debian kernel right now. And on that Debian kernel, I'm going to show you all the devices and connectivities and all the commands which I'm going to show you for that. Right. But as we are discussing about Windows, so quickly I'll show you the forensics of Windows, and then I'll come to this particular part for you. So I have a practical. That's what I like to show you, a small practical for this. Let's say I'm going to start a Windows operating system in my virtual machine. So I have a lot of virtual machines in my system. So I'm just quickly going to run my Windows. Okay. And there, what I want to do, basically, we want to fetch the information. Like, is that possible that we are going to get the information that how many or any specific dated time where the machines connected with the pen drive, and can we able to capture some information out of it? So a lot of third-party tools are available, or even not only this, basically there are 4 good locations in your Windows, right? So that you can explore. It is in the form of registry. It is in the form of logs, where you can identify on which date, which time, which device was connected. Even you will also get the information whether that device was safely removed or not. So even you can find that level of information as well, right? So quickly, let me find if I have that tool with me. So quickly, I'll show you. In case if I have a just give me a minute. Yes, product key USBW, right? So I'm going to show you one of the tools. Just take a look. So this is what like the scenario is all about, and I'm using it. The name of the tool is basically USB Dev View, right? So this is a very basic tool. If you just go and explore, and you will find, see, only I just need to run this file, this program. So this is a very shortcut way which I'm going to show you right away, right now. So on which date, which time, which device was connected. Let's say I connected a USB HP or some HP pen drive or any, see, mass storage drive, SanDisk mass storage device was there, whether it is connected, it is safely uploaded or removed or not. And the best part, even you will get the serial number of this. If you can see this, right, you will get the device serial number as well. All right, even you can see, you might get see the drive letter. So on which date which device was connected and what was the drive letter and the serial number, and exactly on which date which time it was connected, last plugin date and time. So this log was created somewhere at this particular location. So we will not get the direct copy paste logs, please try and understand, but we have to generate the relationship. So there is a relational model actually. So relational logs are very important to understand that something happened on that date or that time, right? So if you found that on 20th November, exactly at 21:47, this was connected, and last also plugged in on this. So means before that, this device was only connected on in the month of even September. Okay, so last this device was connected in the month of September, and last this log was created on, again it was connected on 20th of November. So we got a product ID, firmware versions, device ID, vendor ID, product ID, almost all the details which are relevant details in front of you. So this is what, and now you can cross check. It is not directly available where you are looking for. So basically this information stores in this particular location, and this is what like the file which was actually give you the details like where the information is stored on the backend. So this is what your sys.sys file use whenever you connect to the pen drives on the backend. So it displays you like their details, and further this information lies in INF file. This is the driver path. Okay, so you will find a driver path and the instance if you want to find out in USB. So this is in your registry. You will find these kind of instances, right? And it shows you the removable capabilities and other information of your drive. Now the things, once it's done, like you identified like on which drive which was connected, on which date, which time, at which location, what is the driver version, and I think most of the information, relevant information, is there in front of you, right? So in this way we can able to capture such information, and you will get a big list. Obviously from the day you started connectivity and you are working, that connectivity displays you the information accordingly. All right, so I hope this concept is more clear to you how it works. Is that clear? Any doubt? Now this is what only where you will find, like say USB was connected and which device was connected. Is it a SanDisk or is it HP USB drive or any other specific drive, Seagate desktop USB device, or any other USB? Is it mass storage or is it a kind of a printer? We try to connect, let's say on somewhere sometime printer USB connectivity where the printers are there, audio cables, mass storage, smart cards. So a lot of things are there which we are connecting with nowadays in terms of USB. Now we have to check whether it has a mass storage or not. It was connected. Right now it is connected. No, it is not right now connected. Is it safely unplugged? Yes or no? So it means, as you know, if you have a pen drive there and you click, it displays you have a safe remote, safely you can remove your drives. So whether it is safely removed or not, it is also showing you that particular part. All right, so in this way you got the behavior of the user. You'll get the behavior like on which date, which time, which activity was performed in your operating system. So now we only get the information that this is the time. So now you will get the date and time. You'll get a specific, it's a timestamp. So based on that particular timestamp, we get to know, okay, say this is some very odd timings because this is not my official timing and my computer is there in my office. So somebody attached this blade USB device or something like that at the time of like 9 means 21 hours. So means 9 p.m. 22 minutes approximately that time, right? So somebody who connected a pen drive on this date, this time in a very odd hours, right? So this is not official hours. Somewhere this is almost odd hours. So that's a time where somebody who tried to access my computer and connected a pen drive on this date and this time. Next, now as you get to know that pen drive was connected, right? But it doesn't mean if the pen drive is connected that somebody also copied the files. Somebody also grabbed some information out of it. So now that is another level of challenge to solve the case as I have given you, right? So how to handle that kind of cases. So now all what we need to do, we need to understand the artifacts of the files. I hope you heard about artifacts or metadata kind of information of some files. So I would like to show you something more important on the backend, like how actually it works. So even let's say I have a Linux. Generally, in case of Windows, what we do, let's say we have some files. Suppose this is one of the file. So now how you identify what is this file all about and some details of this file. So what you do, generally you go to right click, you open the properties, and you'll try to find what is the creation date, modified date, and access date and time, right? Size of the file and all that stuff. However, at this point of time, like certain advanced searching techniques are required, or a forensics applications are required. Now, in case of forensics, please remember, this is not only the purpose to data recover. We are not going for data recovery. We are going for artifacts recovery. So in case of forensics, artifacts are very important. We are going to work out on the artifacts recovery, and we are going to fetch some information, what is relevant information about that specific period or specific tenure or so. So now as I get to know on which date, which time this USB was connected, now further we can take some applications like you can take a good open source application in forensics, that is Autopsy. So you can take a software like Autopsy, very, very good software, right? You can take a software like a Volatility. In case if you have a RAM dump also would be really better. And we can go with then Volatility, or even you can use some proprietary product if you are looking for, then NCase or FTK Imagers are the kind of software which you can use for recovering data. But that is not the purpose all about. The purpose is now we want to find some information. I would like to show you from open source point of view. Why? Because I think third party for Windows, third party applications are there. In case of Linux, we have a lot of other opportunities and we can work out and find some details on that basis. So there all what we need to do. Let's say I want to see some file. So I'll do ls-la. So I'm just running in the just to find a long list. Okay. And let's say I just want to show you there is a one file called ABCD in my computer, right? And this is just a text file. It's a regular read-only file with all the permissions 777. Prepared by one user, one link under this category. Size of the file is 45 bytes. Somewhere prepared on 9th of April 2020. Right. So let's say I have one file ABCD. Okay. So now before I execute, now please remember that's a major gap. I'm showing you right now like how to access the information by using some open source. But please remember, as a precautionary, whenever we are into forensics, it is highly recommended that you should take the backup of that drive first of all. So how you take the backup? Now for backup, generally you have a concept like you use the DD command of your entire hard drive, or create the image. Now images are also of two types. You have a logical image or a physical image. So I'm talking about physical image. Please try and understand, because in case if somebody deleted the file, I'm not only saying that somebody copied the file. Let's say somebody copied the file and they delete some files by using your operating system. So can we able to identify those files which were deleted on that timestamp? And can we able to recover those files also from that particular part? So yes, the tools are available, and very, very good tools are there by which we can even able to recover the information out of it. But recovery is a different part. We are going to play with the operating system. And please remember, whatever the activity being performed by you, the artifact date and time also changes. So in case of forensics, in case of it is related to some litigation, so first it is highly recommended, do not work on that machine at all. All what you need to do, if it is the original evidence, immediately stop working on the evidence. It's the first primarily activity which you have to perform. Stop working on that digital gadget or digital device, whatever you have, that memory, you are not supposed to work on it. Second step, take a forensics opinion, some forensics expert part, or being a technical, you can also take a advantage. What all you need to do, you have to go for a physical imaging, or in another way we also used to call it as cloning, right? So all what we need to do, either we have to clone multiple drives. In case if you don't have a multiple drives, then what you can do, go with the physical imaging. And for physical imaging, I'll show you the command also. So all what you need to do, let's say I connected a pen drive. Suppose I'll do it for you. Let's say I'm right now going to connect a one pen drive. Okay. Okay, whatever it is. Practically, I'm just going to connect one pen drive. Okay. Yeah. I think you can see I got a one pen drive. Now, the moment I get a pen drive, how to check that detail? So first I'm going to find whether the pen drive is there or not, let's suppose. So sudo, you can go with the fdisk-l command. Fdisk-l. So just go for this and press enter. You'll find the details. Now you can see, like, I have my own hard drive, and now my hard drive, which is of logically, it is on generally, obviously all the data is logically is on the 502 bytes per block, and physically generally it goes for a collection of blocks, so 4K block is there. This is the serial number of my hard drive. So whatever the hard drive do I have, means where I have actually stored the data, I got the hard drive identifier. So this is the serial number of my hard drive. I hope you can see my screen and all. Where I have a Linux which is installed, you can see the Linux which is already installed in my system, right? And where we are talking about like /dev/sda1, sda2, and sda5. So we have three good partitions in the machine. One is the bootable partition, another is a extended partition, and again one we have a swap partition. So in case of extended partition, we have an entire data, and one is a bootable partition. So three partitions are there. So that means that this is about my hard drive, which is there inside the machine, right? And at the same point of time, means if you'll see on the top of SDA, I'll just take it on the top. You can see on SDA, it is of 1 TB hard drive. All right. So how many heads, how many sectors, it is showing you all the details about this hard drive. All right. Same time as right now, I just connected my pen drive. So /dev/sdb, which is of 16 GB pen drive. So I've just connected, and it is showing you that I have one pen drive with one partition. Somewhere that size of the partition, their file system was either NTFS or extended FAT. So generally it is extended FAT by default, right? So we got a one drive. Now let's say same way, all what you need to do, suppose you have to take or capture your operating system, then please shut down this operating system. You have to shut down this operating system. And if the size, let's say it's of 1 TB, then actually you need at least 1 TB or above. 1 TB or above means the size should be more than or equals to that much of bytes. So think from the bit point of view, because we are going to capture bit by bit value. We are going to capture all the blocks, whether even there is a bad sector. So we need that bad sector to be mounted in the image as well. So two type of imaging, one is logical imaging, one is physical imaging. Okay. So in case of logical imaging, let's suppose I'll take an example. Let's suppose I have a hard drive of 1 TB where I just captured 200 GB. So in case of logical imaging, you will get the image only of 200 GB, not of the entire hard drive. So that means you can only able to work out on the data which lies at that point of time. You cannot recover the deleted data. All right. And if you really want to work on the deleted data, you want to work out on the entire hard drive, which might be earlier the data was stored and we want to capture and we want to see the entire structure of your hard drive. In that case, not a logical, in that case, physical, the imaging is important. To get the physical imaging, all what you need to do, so just take a look. I'm just going to run out in front of you. So sudo, one very good command called dd, disk duplicator, right? So the syntax is dd if equals to, if is input file system. It is not a if condition like in programming you use generally. So if stands for input file system. So if is equals to, now I want to, let's say, capture a data of my pen drive, or let's say I want to capture data of my entire hard drive on a destination drive, right? Or in the form of image. So purely up to us whether you want a cloning or you want a physical imaging. So dd command is going to help you. And please remember, means you take any this hardware level copiers are there, disk copiers, or in case like software which used to clone the image or create multiple images, all even proprietary products, they also use the same command on the back end. So you can go and cross check. You will find the same command which they use on the back end. However, you have a very good look and feel, a UI where you have source drive, you have destination drive, and clone. So all what you need to do, you have to select the drives, click to clone button, and I think that's simply done in front of you. But what is there on the back end, if you really want to do and do not want to purchase that level of hardwares or big applications or expensive applications, then simply go with the open source applications. So if dd space if equals to, I need a source drive from where I need to capture. Let's say I want to capture the example of from my pen drive. I want to capture the entire data of pen drive, whether it is deleted, whether it exists, whether it accessed or not, or whatever their artifacts of the pen drive. I need to capture each and every bit by bit information out of it. So for that, I need physical imaging, right? Or I can clone it in another pen drive as well if I have. So I can connect another destination drive as well, and drive to drive I can clone. Okay, so all what you need to do, you have to mention like which device you have. Say I have pen drive. Now you want to, again, one more important thing, just take a look. See, in my pen drive SDB, it is 16 GB. Total number of bytes are there in front of you. However, it is a bootable drive, and some initial blocks were somewhere else occupied. So in this partition like SDB1, it is starting from a block number from 2048, where it only reached to that much of blocks. So total number of blocks which they are showing you for this particular partition is this. So you want partition backup or you want drive backup, two different things. So if you want a drive backup, then you only have to write SDB, because now we are starting from zero track. Okay, if you are taking a partition, then we have to go with the SDB1. Then you will get, again, you're going to start your partition from this particular location. So initial blocks, they're not going to capture it for you. All right, which carries a kind of index table and other information about that. And moreover, you can also cross check. Let's say this is a pen drive, suppose from where in that case, somebody who connected, and we also get the serial number of this pen drive as well. So we got the serial number of this pen drive in Linux, and might be it is available in the same report which we have seen, right? So as we have seen already that reports, you have some serial numbers also over there as well. This is an numeric or hexadecimal or simple text. However, in case of Linux, you will get a hexadecimal value. So hardly matters. Once you convert from hexa to decimal, you will get the same serial number over there, whatever is mentioned. Right. So there will get a serial number also of this pen drive, right? Just by typing this command, one single command, that is sudo fdisk-l. So a relevant information is there, and this is the way how we can able to capture the information out of it, right? So sudo we are using to run in the administrative format. Okay, and dd is an inbuilt command in almost all the Linux and all the Linux operating systems. So you can use dd command if equals to, this is the input file system, which is equals to /dev/sdb. So capture your entire drive by using this option. And further, off is equals to, now it's up to you where you want to store. Could be in the form of file. So I want a, let's say, physical image. So pen drive.dd. I can create like this, any name of the file, or raw extension, or dd extension, or whatever you like, or even without extension, hardly matters in case of Linux. All right. So the moment you press enter, now what they'll do, they basically try to create a duplication of this drive bit by bit. Remember, physical imaging is there on the back end. This is my source drive, and then we get the image. Now, image, a virtual image, or you can save this image in the on the other pen drive as well. So might be the other drive, then /dev/sdc. So could be another drive if you have and you want to clone that drive, right? So cloning or physical imaging is somewhere same, but only the part is you have to cross check whether it is successfully completed or not. So please remember, before you start working on open source tools or extracting information, working on artifacts, or working on any particular criteria, initially you have to go through with these options. Because as per law, even the investigating officers are not supposed to take a digital device and start exploring those digital devices after seizure. So if they go for panchnama or seizing the drives, so in case if they seize any digital drive, then they are, whatever that date time timestamp, they have to mention it over there when they seize that drive, and they have to give a memo, receiving memo from the owner of that drive, a holder, right? So once that timestamp was punched, then as per law, even the investigating officers are not supposed to explore that drive, that computer, or that any digital device at their stage, because then that might be a tampering of evidence. That comes under tampering of evidence, and according to Indian Evidence Act, then they'll not consider your evidence. Okay, so make it admissible in the court. It is mandatory that you have to take this precaution. You have to generate the images, and I hope you are already aware of hash values. So we have to go with a cryptographic algorithm of hash values like MD5, SHA1, and we have to calculate the hash for data integrity check of the drive as well as of the image. And if both are equal, then actually you got a clone drive. And once you'll get a clone drive, make multiple copies in the same way, same pattern, and then start exploring. So this is a preliminary in case of forensics, where if you want to go for a data recovery, I think you might give a drive and just simply start exploring the information out of it. But please remember, that is not directly admissible to the court, right? So whenever we are talking in terms of forensics, please remember what is the criteria of forensics. We have to go through with the procedure. There is a SOPs for forensics given and shared to all the enforcement agencies, as well as to work out. So that's what, like, these are procedures being introduced. I think this preliminary part is clear to all of you, right? Quickly, I have to show you a lot of things today, so let me quickly come to that point as well, right? Shall I proceed? So this is the core of computer forensics. Okay, and next, once things done, now let's say I'm coming to that file. Now suppose I have already the image, and now I am working on image, and I'm going to explore the content of that image. Let's say take it in this way, in this particular pattern. All right. Okay. Now what all we need to do? Let's say I have a file. So ls-la, and let's say I have already one file, and now I want to find the detail of this file, say ABCD. Could be a pen drive image, or could be relevant for investigation purpose. And that is, suppose, my confidential data, where I feel that was compromised, and somebody captured this file in pen drive on specific date and time. So this date and time and the date and time of your pen drive connectivity should be relevant somewhere. could be access date and time or could be modified date and time. You have to cross check, right? So what is the crisp in this technical part? I'll show you. Now, the moment you start working on the computer, right? So before I'll go for it, now I'm going to use one of the command called stat command in Linux. So stat command is a command which gives you the status of the file. Okay, so name of the file is like ABCD for me right now. So the moment you'll explore, now you will see this is the name of the file, which is in front of you, the size of the file, because now what I'm doing, I'm checking the property of the file, right? Like in Windows, as I've shown you, like you have right click, you go to the properties and you explore the properties of the system. All right. So same way in Linux, we use a command like stat command, stat of any particular file, name of the file. Now in this case, you will find input output, how many blocks. So obviously, you know, in my hard disk, it is 4096 block, right? Total block occupied, because the size is less, so they only occupied the internal initial 8 blocks. The name of the device, so it is of my hard drive, my device letter number, and my device serial number. One most important part, in your computers, please remember, every file was indexed internally. Whenever we are talking about, let's say, file, so every file is internally indexed in your operating system. Okay, whether hardly matters Linux, it's Apple, Mac, Android, or these all are even Linux variants. But what about Windows? So again, in Windows also, however, Windows is now also compatible to Linux, so equal to Linux somewhere, right? So they also have an index of each file. Please remember, if you know the index number of a file, now, without knowing the file name, if you know the index number, even we can able to recover the file. We can identify the file. We can search the file. In case if we know the index number of the file. So let's say I have an index number. In case of Linux, it always shows you that is called inode number, or in Windows, it's an index number, right? So we have an inode number of each file. So this is the index number of the file which I was targeting, and it displays you what is their status. Access details, so means anyone can access without, it's a without permission file, where however it is the who is the owner of this file. Technically, see, I am the owner of this computer doesn't mean that I am the owner of that file also. Please try and understand. Let's say if my computer used by 2 or 3 people and they have their own username password. So the file which was created by any specific user should be owned by that user, right? So if I am the user, so I have my own user ID. And who is the creator of this file? So I am the creator of this file. That means I am the creator as well as I am the owner of this file. However, this is a loophole. This is a backdoor that like not only me, but anyone can access, modify, update. Even that person is not owner of the file, because the permission given as 777, that means read, write, and execute to the owner of the file, to the group member of the file, even to the other users, guest users. So this is a challenge. Always try and check if you have such files, convert your file permissions in Linux, right? So that you'll mitigate the risk factors. So that is one part. And the member of group. So this is the group name and this is the user ID. So you got all the details at this point of time. Same thing, we also get the data like access, modified, and change at timestamps. So now you can see this file was accessed. Last it was accessed on this particular date and time. All right. So this file was accessed. Last it was accessed on 9th. Today is 9th. So it was accessed. How and 9th, and all the details are there in front of you. Why it is showing you that it was accessed and modified? Because this stat command tried to grab the information from the file, even though I have not read the content of the file. I don't know what is the content, or I have not accessed. But technically, if you are going to explore the properties of the file, even though at that point of time you are accessing that file, that means you access that file. So today's date, today's time, and in case if somebody makes certain changes, accordingly date and time and the details would be there. However, this file was last modified. So modified date time was of 2020. So 9th April 2020, exactly, this was a time where the file was last modified. Now, this is a good time where that means somebody who captured the file, who modified that time, whether this timestamp match with my logs or not. If it match with my logs, that means somebody who connected pen drive, and after that pen drive, so I need to find those files which were accessed. Please try and understand. Whenever you copy the file, it basically, you will get a timestamp change in the access part, not in the modified, not in the change part. Right. If you change the permission, then only you will get the changes in the change parameter. Right. Then you will get the updated in the change parameter. Modify means you really modify the content of the file. And access means somebody who copied a file, who makes certain changes, who access that file. So I access this file right now. So again, I got a new timestamp for today's date. Right. Accordingly, somebody who access, so you will get some date and time, some information, and accordingly we need to find out what happened, when it happens, and whether it was correlated with that particular part or not. So what all I want, let's say the date and time where that pen drive was connected. After that, let's say for 1 hour from that particular time frame, after 1 hour or after 2 hours, what all the files were accessed. Are you getting my point? So I'm going to get the list of those files. So it is a kind of a very advanced search techniques which we require, that what all the name of the files were accessed after that time duration or on specific date and time. So if I really want to find out the details, we'll go with the basic commands again. In the case of Linux, again, we have a command for advanced searching techniques. Or in Windows, all what you need to do in that case, let's say you want to search a file. Okay, quickly, let's say we'll go to one of the software. There you want to search a file, but searching means we have to go to the search in advanced option. I don't know whether you really explore that part or not. Right. And see indexed location, if you want to go with that, no. We want some other property based, like name or anything, like in case of type. So who prepared those files? We have a list of that particular one. I'm doing manually. Forensics tool, they'll automatically find internally. Even the date and time when it was modified. So you can see this part. Right. Last month, any day, last week, say last week or this week or yesterday, let's say yesterday, how many files were modified? Can I see the list? Okay, so obviously it was not there. And say this week, suppose if I want to find out, do we get some list of the files where it was modified? And obviously you have to select your drive accordingly and then try to go and search with the advanced search techniques. So quickly you will start getting the information, and you can able to explore the information on that basis. Right. At the same point of time, in Linux, we use a command called find command. Means I just share one screen with you, like Ubuntu, or even not Ubuntu, Linux find command examples. Suppose if I'll write like this, I think you will get first link, and now you can see my screen, I believe, right? And now you can see how many ways, what are the various ways are there where you can find the detail. A very, very good command. You can find according to the location, name of the file, name number, so ignore uppercase, lowercase, right? Name of the directory, so type is D means directory, it's a file. You want to search a directories, you want to search a files. Again, you have a combinations like this, specific extensions of the files based on permissions. How many files where I have a permission like 777? So I have shown you right now. So on that basis, you can even go and find this part. We'll find the details. Okay. And in this way, we solve many cases. Means I'm giving you the way, very simple way, without using third-party tool. Linux itself carry a lot of utilities and helpful, but we have to make the modular process in our mind, so that one by one we'll go and we'll proceed and we'll get the results on that basis. Right. So this is the way we are going to perform. And say you will find the permissions basis or a group basis, username basis, executional file basis. And then let's suppose if I found, now this is for optimization as well. If I able to find out the name of those file where the permission of the file is 777, so in case if it displays, so print those files and then at the same time execute a command and convert their permission to 644. So chmod command is used to change the permission for all the files being identified where the permissions of those files are 777 should be converted to 644. So 6 means read write and 4 means only read. So the owner of the file can only read and write, and rest they can only read the file. They cannot make any manipulations on the file. So one single command would help you to change your entire operating system. However, obviously you need a root permission, or if you have your own in a specific user, so at least you can control your files with your own permission, right? So in this way you can execute the commands and you can give the path accordingly, right? What about directories? So we can change the permission for the directories. And at the same time, what I want to show you for this case study, date and time, right? Quickly I'll go, I think I'll show you. There is a one option C. Show me the file which was modified in last 50 days. So you will get a command like find on the base hardware. So it's a slash is a root, where modified time minus, so it's a hyphen m time is a parameter for 50. So it means it displays you from today, last 50 days, or whatever the number you mentioned over there. It displays you the files where the files were modified by someone, and on which date, which time in the period of last 50 days. You will get the results and the name of those files. You can even print on those, and that gives you the list. And if anybody who accessed the file, that means somebody copied the file, also comes under the accessibility of the file on that date time. So in that case, just you have to use -a time with the 50 as a number of days. So it displays you the list of that. Even though if the case is little older, so you can even mention in this way. Let's say I have a range like from today I'll reach to 50th day, and from that day 50th day to last 100 days. In between I want to see. I don't want to see from last 100 days, because now I have a criteria from last 50 days. I already have evaluated, but what I want to evaluate, let's say from the 50th day to 100th day, in between that period, in that particular tenure. So again, this is what like the combination you can apply, and you can find the details and you can retrieve the information out of this. This is very, very helpful for forensics. And all these artifacts, basically forensics means we are working more on artifacts, and we can claim that these are my confidential files, access on this date and this time, and at the same time that pen drive was also connected in my system, and that means somebody copied my content. So these are the kind of logs, and kind of artifacts which we have to generate the information, store in some files, and because if it is a primary drive, primary evidence, then that's okay. If it is a secondary evidence, then you have to work with this Evidence Act Section 65B certificate is also important in that case. If you are giving only the evidences which might be saved in the pen drive or floppy or CD, which you are attaching and giving to someone else, means submitting in the court, right? Then 65B certificate is also important. All right. So this is the way, technically, legally, and in case of forensics, using open source, we can even grab the information without using third-party tools. So we don't carry tools in this case. Whenever we only want to carry one pen drive, where pen drive means my operating system inside that, which is plug and play operating system. And I have a mobile so that I can able to access a network, and I'm not going to use that hard drive directly. Okay, so I'm not going to use that hard drive, or I'm not going to access that hard drive where actually it is a primary evidence. Okay, so this is what like the way even you can use open source tools for computer forensics part. Let's say you can find in days, and why not in form of hours? So you have hours like what happened in the last 1 hour. As I was in the meeting and I have a doubt, like somebody who used my computer. So in last 1 hour, can I able to see how many of the people who access the file, who modified the file or change their files? So somebody who make the changes in the permission, like they make the changes of the file permissions. So that changes comes in change parameter. Modified, somebody makes certain changes in the file, so in the modified files. And somebody copied a file is only in the access files. So you'll get the list of access file, or they might say read the content, or they might copy the content, right? So you will get the list of the files and the updated parameter values over there. So in this way, you can find the artifacts, you can find the details by using a basic commands, and very, very valuable, very, very important to use. I think this is more than enough to use, right? And we'll get more results on that basis. Was that clear? Any doubt? Any query? Meanwhile, anyone have any doubt?
Participants, if any query is there, you can unmute yourself, or you can write on chat box.
Yeah, otherwise then I'll continue my session, and I think we can take the queries also at the end also. Once we'll wind up, then also before we wind up, we can go for it.
Okay, sir, you go ahead.
Right, fine, thank you. So quickly, this is the way how you have to work out and how you'll get and grab the information from your operating system. So find command would help you, and this is small example which I have just shown you. Even on the basis of size of the file, let's say if I have any file which is a size which might carry a 1 GB, so 1 GB, so 1 G, you have to just mention G. Okay, 1 TB, 1 T. In MB, so you have to mention M. So any file where the size of the file is more than 50 MB but less than 100 MB, in that case, you want to remove the file. Let's say I have a heavy files. Why I have some memory was occupied unnecessary. Let's say more than 2 GB or 5 GB file is there. If any, it is, I'll see the list, and if I feel it is irrelevant, immediately find those files which is more than, let's say, 5G, and simply remove those files from the system. So you'll automatically get we can use it for optimization, performance tuning, even for forensics, using these open source tools and open source operating system and open source commands. I hope this concept is more clear to you. What is a computer forensics part, and how you'll get an initiation in the forensics by using open source tools. I'm not using any third-party tool in front of you, but whatever the result being generated by those forensics tools, very expensive tools, NCase or various tools are there. It's a big list of the forensics tool. I think that is no point, because if you are good in Linux, if you are good in forensics, if your concepts are clear to you, I think the same thing happen on the back end, and you can also run these commands at your end. One more important part, always try to keep your pen drive ports in readable form, because whenever you are connecting any hard drive also to the forensic system, let's say you detach the hard drive and you want to connect that hard drive and for cloning purpose, again, please remember, because at that time if you connect, then might be in case if there is some virus in your system, that also try to or connect with that drive, and they'll get a drive letter. That means you access a drive, and once you access a drive, again the date time of the accessibility of that drive also changes. So it means you are making changes in that drive, and in that case, data integrity check hash value never match. So means if you really want to find the hash values, again, very simple, MD5 sum space the name of the file or your pen drive or image of the drive, simply you will get the hash values. SHA1 sum file name, you will get that. SHA 256 some name of the file, you'll get the hash values. And now if you have the image, and as well as at the same time you have a pen drive, we can say take a same way, MD5 some /dev/sdb. So we'll get the hash value of pen drive also at the same point of time, in the same way, same pattern. So for data integrity check, even it has already been instructed to all the investigating officers, At the time, if they're seizing the digital devices, they have to find the data integrity check, SHA1, MD5, at least 2 algorithms need to be executed. And once we'll get this hash value, it clearly says that this is the present status of the drive. And in case if anyone who makes certain changes even access the drive, this hash value would not be same in that case. So that creates a problem for investigators. So please remember, there is a concept called block writers, write blockers. In other way, it's called as write blocker. Write blockers are available. So physical hardware based write blockers are there. So this is the way, this is the right way how you can connect your hard drives if you have to take it as a evidence. So first you connect your hard drive to the write blocker, and from write blocker you connect that write blocker to your forensics computers, so that we are not, this is one-way data transmission. Okay, so that means we can able to grab the information from these drives, but we cannot make any manipulation intentionally or unintentionally, because might be possible that my machine was also compromised, or my machine tried to run an auto run to mount a drive, and that's a time where your artifacts might be changed. So we have to save, we have to preserve in a very secret and very secure manner. All right, so these are the areas, these are the basic investigative model once you're working on computer forensics, right? So security precautions for the investigators, security precautions. So we have to go with a procedural model whenever you are in forensics. Otherwise, recovery means you can simply go and recover the data in case if you want. For recovery in open source, you can use a one test disk. Very good tool, very good toolkit, I would say. Test disk, press enter, run, and obviously you need to recover a data in case if you want. It's enlarged in terminal. So okay. So you have to reduce the size display also. So in this way, it displays you. And let's say I don't want to create a log right now. Which drive you want to go for data recovery? So it helps you for data recovery in case if you have any particular tentative date and time. And according to date and time, you can go and explore that anyone who deleted the files, which is not accessible even, right? If you found some deleted files, we can even able to recover those deleted file by using a test disk utility, which is inbuilt again in your Ubuntu or other Linux operating systems. In case if it is not by default installed, the command is apt-get install space test disk. That's it. Very, very good utility to recover the data. Means we work practically, and I think I recover most of the worst cases. Means I'm talking about worst cases where I think in Windows you will found thousands of good data recovery softwares, but that is of no use, because then you have to understand how the hard drive works, what is their file system architecture, how internally it has been stored, and what activity being performed on that drive. Due to that, there is some damage. Due to that, there is some error. Now, what type of error, what type of troubles are there, what type of issues are there? Based on that, you have to select the tool where this test disk actually works for almost for all the types of such tools. Recovery of files, recovery of even partitions, or raw data based on indexing numbers. So even almost all the things were done in this particular utility. Well, it takes a lot of time, so I'm not showing you, but I think I have given you a basic idea. You can go with a command called test disk. Right? So on that basis, you can able to recover the information on that ground. Okay. So this is like the way how you have to start working on your cloud. Now, let's say we'll take another example. Suppose we'll able to, we got a mobile phone. Now, if you have a mobile phone, now on mobile phone, is there any other way to find out what exactly is running on the mobile phone? And can we do the forensics on mobile phone? So what is the technique on that basis? Can we able to work out on it? Can we able to capture the details on that basis, or other artifacts on the mobiles? Okay, so for that, all what you need to do, you need to find out first of all that your mobile must be connected in your to your block writers, and from block writers you are connected to a forensics machine. Okay, so this is the way. This is again a condition, and on that basis, quickly I have a couple of slides for you. I think quickly I'll show you some slides. Then I'll go to the practical there and then. Okay, so how, let's say I'm going to take a mobile phone, and again similar activity for hardly matters for Android or iPhone, but utility might be changed according to the platform. So in case of Android, basically we have a one inbuilt utility. It's an official utility called ADB kit. So by using ADB also we can go for a forensics. We can able to recover the information by using ADB activities. And I'll show you some case study that how we solve the cases and able to recover the information from the Android devices, right? And at the same time, so what is Android? I'll take it as Android as a part. In the same way, same pattern, you can use a iPhone, and in iPhone the software is Xcode. Similar like ADB, means as I'm using ADB in Android, you can use Xcode, the similar software in case of iPhones. All right. So there, then we have to explore certain commands and certain procedures to connect and to extract the information from the mobile phones. Now, let's say we got a phone seized. Okay, in the seizure, so one of the enforcement agency reached to the place where they have to raid, and in the raid they found a one mobile phone. So they capture a phone and they seize the phone. Now they came to for the forensics purpose. So that is the scenario, let's suppose. And now can we able to recover the information from the mobile phones? What are the relevant information? How we can able to capture the details from the mobile phones? So generally, it is highly recommended, again, as I said, do not start your phones, because then the artifacts are also changed, right? So the first and initial part, like however, we have a software like called CRY, XRY, right? XRY, not CRY, it's a XRY, CRY. UFED is another toolkit which you can use, but it's a very expensive and proprietary products, right, for mobile forensics. However, those applications which are used in UFED or CRY kind of application, again, it is nothing on the basis of ADB kit. So I'm going to show you the commands, open source utilities like ADB, and how you can able to recover the information from ADB. But before that, we should understand the architecture of Android also. So please remember, Android is nothing. It is completely Linux. Okay, if you know Linux, I think you can easily know Android or any other application or any other operating system, wherever you want to work. Almost the architecture is same, only their kernel, they make certain changes in the kernel side. They make certain changes in the application side, or some shells. Somebody prefers some other shells, or like say they use C shell, Conch shell, or Bash shell. Generally, by default, is Bash shell utilized in almost all the Linux architecture. And according to the kernel, they use certain libraries, and based on that libraries, you have certain instructions, you have certain commands. Okay, so for Fedora, it is basically a Red Hat RPM architecture, and for Ubuntu, you have by default like Debian architecture. So kernel is again Debian. So Debian already have their own operating system as well, but mostly like people are using like Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is working like on say application layer or application framework layer, right? In the same way, Android is a product of Google, which is again on the top of Linux. So by default, there is a Linux kernel where you have a drivers of like all the hardwares. So kernel is going to fetch the information about all the drivers like power management, flash drives, audio drivers, camera, display, keypad, Wi-Fi, etc. So that was to be given by the kernel, Linux kernel, right? On top of it, Android runtime. So you have a lot of libraries where DVM, a Dalvik virtual machine, which runs on every Android phone as a virtual machine internally, and certain core libraries were deployed in this DVM. And these libraries are like you need say SSLers or some backend application media framework, SQLite some database, WebKits. So access all these applications or these drivers internally. You found some libraries. Further, these libraries were used for different type of framework, like you need to view the geographical location, or you want to see the list of the telephones like missed call, received calls, notifications, activity manager. So now we are talking more like a Android working methodology. So you have a complete architecture which are based on certain frameworks, and based on that certain applications which are accessible. So we use browsers, we use phone. Phone means calling, app, and contact list. You have home. So almost these are the application based on certain libraries, certain application frameworks, and these frameworks were somewhere synchronized with the library running on DVM, where DVM gives a privilege of a hardware driver from the kernel side, and so that these application and these operating system works practically. Right, a general overview of an Android architecture, so that you'll able to understand how this Android and other operating system works. Right. So now we take it to the another most important part. Generally, two kits are available, which are the official kits from Android Studio. You can visit Android Studio and you can go to the official website of Android, where you can download these applications. One is Fastboot and second is Adb. Now, Fastboot, especially in case of forensics, we prefer to go with initially with Fastboot mode. Okay. However, nowadays I have seen like most of the latest operating systems like Android 10 or above, you might have seen, or especially like MIUI. So these MI's providers or Samsung, LG, Vivo, Oppo, what they are doing now, they are coming with their own UI. So basically what they are doing, they're customizing the Android framework, all right, firmware according to the version, because there is a source firmware, and on that basis they place their own UI, they place their own applications, again create a customized firmware, and they deploy that firmware in their mobile phones. All right. So if you go with the Xiaomi Mi phone, so they have different Mi UI, and OnePlus have different, or Samsung have different. So they have different type of activity. However, all the Android drives were working on two major applications. First is Fastboot mode, second is Adb mode. Now, what is Fastboot mode? For case of Fastboot mode, actually the purpose is that, as I said in laptop also, suppose I want to take a DD command I want to run on a laptop for imaging purpose. So first of all, I need to shut down that operating system. I have not to open or explore that data in that operating system. Or even if the computer is on, I'm not supposed to take the image of that pen drive or in the form of other drive or in the form of other images. I can't take it directly because the device is on. So two conditions for investigating officers. If the device is on, then take the RAM dumps and go for RAM dump analysis. If the device is off, do not start it. Take the machine in the same state, whatever it is, right? So take that state, capture the information out of it, and then try to circulate and try to create an image. And on image, after going for integrity check, then you explore the data or do whatever the R&D you want. So let us assume like I have a one seized mobile phone. So what is our priority? We'll take a memory chip. There is an option in your phones that you have a SIM card. Along with that, you have a memory card also, where this micro SD cards you can place it, and for data storage or extension of data storage, etc. Where actually we take those SSD cards, microchip SD cards, and we try to deploy a customized framework according to the model which you are using. Right. So we have a big list of customized. That is called as, technically, I'll show you practical part also at the same time. ADB. Yes, I come to ADB, and in ADB, I have a lot of, this is one of the case study. I think I'll show you one case study also. Quickly, I'll go to hacking my part, Android, TWRP. See, this is what I have, a folder called TWRP, and we have a specific images. If you can see, 1.2 MB, or for Asus phone, I have 4.6 MB. So these are the kind of flash drives images. So all what I need to do, I have to make my mobile boot from a fastboot mode. And in fastboot mode, how to make it fastboot mode? So you have to press, means shut down the mobile, and then you have to press like down sound button. You have a sound increase sound or decrease sound. So decrease sound button and power button you have to press simultaneously for 30 seconds or a minute or so. Then actually your mobile phone doesn't boot in the regular form. It boots generally in the fastboot format. And that is the format, that is the place where it is looking for a firmware. And we instruct a mobile that you don't boot from your boot ROM. Better to boot from my SD card where I already have a one image called TWRP image or so. So it means, in other way, we shut down the computer in the same way we shut down the mobile, and we try to boot from other bootable drives. Okay, so TWRP kits are available where we try to boot our mobile phones in the other format and without using that machine. Okay, where we got a root privilege also. Even though from that we can crack your patterns, because obviously most of the mobiles, every mobile is now secured mobile, right? You don't have patterns. How you explore the data which is seized? Means if the accused are helping you, great. But sometimes there are some accidental cases comes across where you get only the phone, even the person is not in the position to give you the patterns or something like that. So even we'll take a retina, so even we'll try, but that's a physical part, or thumb, fine, but whatever. So that's a biometric might be possible, but in case if you have a pattern or you have a password sort of, then how you will retrieve that part? So in that case, we try to boot our mobile phones in this particular form. So bypass the basic operating system and we boot your operating system with the other images, right? So, but for that, that boot ROM, fast boot mode must be unlocked. So now MIUI, what they are doing, they block the fast boot mode also, right? So unless and until you need that software to be downloaded, connect that mobile, download that application, then only a fastboot mode is you'll able to access it. So this is some kind of conditions or issues which are there in the latest operating system while investigations or doing a forensics on these drives. But at the same time, or other mobiles, so most of the mobiles are open and we can able to access with the other bootable drives. See, this is what we did also. And the moment we'll boot, we actually got a root privilege on a backdoor. Okay, and your boot ROM, means your Android boot where you have a complete drive, that drive becomes an external drive for us. So we'll reach to the location where the pattern is stored, we'll get a number from that file, and according to that number, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, you have a sequence of that patterns. Okay, left to right, top to bottom, and accordingly there is some number, let's say some number 658. So 6, where is 6? So 6 is the last digit, 6 5, so you will go back, and then 8, so it means you are going down. So somebody who prepared this pattern, and on that basis you can able to explore the phones. So this is the way how the people hack actually, or in forensics we also need to hack those phones, then only we'll able to capture the information out of it, right? And at the same point of time, I would like to show you, even in my phone I did the same. If I have Samsung case studies there, okay, some I did Samsung. I have cracked versions of these Samsung. No, it's not this one. And TW, quickly let me find out for you. Okay. Just give me a minute. I already have a complete copy. So we did a DD command also. We run the same DD command as I have shown you in case of Linux. We also deploy one toolkit in the mobile to run DD commands. And by using netcat utility, we try to execute and create a complete duplicate image of all the partitions lying in your Android operating system. Right, I already did that. Let me find, where is it? We'll show you. Okay, it's hacking case study forensics. I have C forensics, like you can see a top C is one of the very good tool which you can use, and download dump analysis. Okay, for mobile. I did a mobile phone for iOS also. We did an audit and recovering information for iOS in the same pattern. Okay, quickly let me find for you. New stuff platform, no IP. So basically, my purpose to show you, like I have already a one Samsung phone where I pick one of the phones. See, this is MSF backdoors or MI account, how to unlock MI account for flash drive. So we have some application, let's say for MI. So we execute a unlock part on MI phones, then only we can able to go for a fast boot mode, and we can able to capture the information out of it. Okay, this is what all about. And find Samsung. It's linked. Okay, hardly matters. See, we have FRP kit for Samsung. If you really want to grab the information of FRP, so that would be helpful to recover some information on a backend, and further we can able to connect and grab the information out of it. All right. So see, this is this is what I want to show you. So I have one Samsung Max 7 Pro phone where you can see the number of partitions which are there in the Samsung phone. So you can see it is always in the MMC BLK. Okay, and MMC BLK means I think it is of 16 GB, and you can see the file. This is a core complete mobile phone backup by using DD command only. So I took a DD command. You can see at the bottom it is almost 14.7 GB. If you can see on the right side. And how many partitions are there? You can see the boot partition, backup partition, cache partition, persist partition, recovery partition, system, and user data partition. Where out of this 14.7 GB, only 12 GB partition is only user data partition. So you can see this user data partition is enough, where we got the image, and further we can take this image for the investigation purpose. So even in the mobile, we'll try to take a DD command, we'll run DD command, and we'll try to capture the information out of it. All right. So this is the way how we find the details. Now, how to run and how to get all this information, practically like to show you quickly, and so that you can able to understand what all I'm talking about. Right. So quickly, let's say get into this, and yes, okay. Now I have Linux based platform tools. So even in PPT you can see, and further I have to use this ADB commands. Okay, for capturing the information or to recover some information from ADB part. Okay, quickly, this is what Fastboot. This is ADB. So I think I have shown you all the things. Even you can run shell, push, logcat, install, uninstall some applications by using ADB also, which is Android Debug Bridge. That is the ADB, Android Debug Bridge. We have to run this part. All right. Officially, you can download from developers.android.com, where you can simply go and find platform tools. So quickly, I'll show you on Google. Download platform tools for Windows, for Linux, or whatever the operating system you're using. You can simply select, go to the downloads, load. See, this is the present version or a current version. But I recommend don't go for third-party sites. Always goes to the official website. You will get this release, and you can able to download the SDK version for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Right? Presently, you have a 31.0.3, which is the latest version, supporting flashing from MV metadata with the vendors and Fastboot and Flash and updated one, all that stuff. So you got frequent updates also. So please remember, you have to go for that. Right. So I already downloaded like a platform tools in my machine, and all what I need to show you, like let's say I want to run this ADB command. But now how to run this ADB command? Before I'll run ADB command, all what you need to do, you need a mobile phone first. connected with a cable, USB cable to your phone. Second important part, whenever you connect, before you connect, you need to take another precautionary part. You have to enable the developer mode. So you have to go for a developer tools, and under that you have a USB debugging tool, which must be enabled. So how to enable that? According to the model, you have to check, like generally you have to go to the kernel or the version of the kernel. You have to tap, I think, first 5 to 7 times. Then only your developer mode is enabled. Then go back, check the developer mode. Under developer mode, you will get a USB debugging tool. So enable that tool. And after enabling, you connect this cable with your mobiles. Okay. Further on that basis, right? Then further, the moment you connect to your computer and you are trying to access your computer, it might pop up that you have to allow and keep it. There's a checkbox that trusted device. So make it trusted device from that particular computer, because then it was listed in the logs also. All right. So, or in case of forensics, depending upon you want to trust that or not, because every time you run a command, then again it will ask you, do you want to allow or deny? Right, due to the Linux architecture, so Linux support, because now you are the third party user who are accessing another drive. So you are working as other users. All right. So in this way, we prefer you go with the fastboot mode, or otherwise, if you're connected with the phone or connected with the drive, then further in the live machine or in your mobile, will simply get into that location, and now we'll try to extract the information out of it using ADB command. Now, how we have to use a ADB command? Quickly, I'll show you. /ADB. So this is in Linux, I'm running ADB. The command which I'm passing is devices. I'll just run devices. So you can see now it is basically finding that server was not running. And however, right now they are going to open a port in your computer with the TCP port number 5037. And now daemon has started successfully. It means now it shows you, it displays you that right now the ADB kernel, connectivity kernel is on. So your server must be on the port number 5037. So technically, if you want to see in your Linux, your port number 5037 is open in your laptop, in your computers, and your Linux machines. However, if I'll again run the command, it displays you one device is connected. However, you do not have the permission. So in case if you got this message, that means you do not have given a trusted part of it. You have to trust that. So go to your mobile, check whether it is trusted or not. Go to USB tethering part and enable transferring file of your Android and all. So once you give a permission from your mobile, that right now as I given, now if I'll go and check, see now my device is with permission. Earlier I don't have a permission, now I have a permission of this phone. So I'm running one phone, connected phone, and now I got a device, right? That means now I am ready to run all ADB commands, whatever being expected at this point of time. All right, then thousands of things are there where we can run ADB command with the shells. Let's say I can run a shell internally, shell, and let's say I want to run ls command. So even ls command. So now if I run ls command, that means these are the applications which are lying in my computer, in my mobile. And again, you are running a Linux command in your phone also. See, you can see almost all, like you have RAM dump, disk dump, debugging mode. So some config file, cache files, bin folder. So a lot of things like in there, and you can find out the information under a shell. Shell is again Linux shell, right? So as I've shown you kernel, Linux kernel. So now you enter to the Linux kernel of Android. And from there, you just need to run some commands, pass the instruction on the prompt to fetch the information about a lot of things like a list of softwares and many more things which are there. And even your data, like say your data is in SD card. So let's say I'll go to that SD card in the shell. Say if I'll connect. Okay. So let's say I'll just run a shell. Okay. So now I am in the mobile shell. You can see the prompt. I have A70 mobile phone right now, Samsung A70. So it shows you A70Q and all where I connected. Now I'll go with CD, which folder, that is SD card. I'll go to SD card, ls-la, So you can see what all the data I have in my phone. Okay, and like DCIM, you know, DCIM folder from where you get the images. So I can go to DCIM, right? Get into that again, ls-l, see the camera, Facebook pictures, everything in the phone, and even you can pull or push the files as well. You can install the data over there as well. So CD, camera, get into that and get the list of files, all JPG files, where the best part in the JPG, like it gives you the size, the permissions, and the best part, when it was created. It was also mentioned in the name of the files as well. So this is 7th November 2021 at 21:15:34. That means 9 p.m. 15 minutes and 34 seconds. So this is the name of your file. And the best part, you can take this file to EXIF tool and you can even recover the geographical location of this file whenever it was captured and whenever it was shooted. So from which location somebody who captured this file might be, that is also available in these files also. So we need this JPG file and we can recover the information. And according to the case study, we can get into that. Right, we can find the artifacts on that basis. Same way, same pattern as we did in Linux, we can do on this particular criteria as well, on these kind of cases as well. So this is the best part. This is the best practice. You have to go with the ADB and fetch information. You can even connect with the network side, like you give us some IP address and you can connect with any of the phone over there. You have a developer option, debugging, kernel, logging. So a lot of things. The dump sys is one of the very good utility for backups of the mobile. You know, Lockcat. We use a NCCat. It's a netcat command is there also. Overview of logging, how it stores, where it stores, what are the location. So we use all these options actually for this investigation purpose. Quickly, let me find out some case study for you. I think if you can see and you will able to know how the things works practically. See, I'll take some Samsung. Where is it again? I lost. Actually, I have a lot of data and indulge into a lot of cases. So might be possible. Yeah. Okay. I'll take one case. So Samsung J7 phone, which I received for some investigation purpose. One of the lady who was accessing this phone. Now the problem with her was like wherever she visit, wherever she goes, so somebody is stalking on her. According to IPC 354D is a section, right, where if any person who is talking to any lady, girl, lady, or any woman, and if she object, she simply denies, she warned to that person, please don't her, and but still somebody is stalking her. In that case, she have a right to simply lodge a complaint to police, and that is a non-billable section under IPC 354D. The person should be there behind the bars there and then, and they have to take a bail from the court. Then only they'll get some relaxation if possible, if court feels comfortable, right? So that is the case altogether. And where is the evidences, like somebody is really stalking you or not? But now she was scared also, because then she came with her parents and to us, and sir, somebody is talking, like today if I am here, so the person knows everything, whatever I'm wearing, he or she knows that today you wear this and you are at this location. Even in the night, I was in my cousin's house, so that guy knows this is your current position, current location. So everybody, so they feel that that their mobile phone might be compromised. So how to find out that whether the mobile phone was really compromised or not? On that basis, we start running certain commands, certain instructions. So we again connect with ADB. We again generate a proper investigation reports and all. And what we identified, I think most of the things you can see, we find third-party application which were installed, softwares, Android kits, package list, disabled apps, working apps, and even some working app we found, like a funny racing car app or something like some regular app, which is actually a vulnerable app. Okay, and then we found one AnyShare. Now phone is Samsung and they have a driver of Lenovo AnyShare.gps. Can you imagine? So go to webinar. It means somebody deployed a remote connectivity tools like, you know, AnyDesk, you know, any similar like TeamViewer. So that is a kind of application which is available, and on that basis, right? So okay, so this is the way how quickly you can find out the details. And even we got a lot of information. We got a lot of details about, say, some Parveen J is the name of some application which is there in the mobile. Now how to get that, how to find? So the moment will run, we'll found all these information, when it was installed, what was the date time, what was the timestamp last it was accessed, you know, what the type of permissions they have. Okay, and see, these are the installed permissions over there, runtime information. They have a group ID, so these group ID also helps us to find out the permissions on a backend. Somebody is accessing their internet, access their network state, right? So some hidden process, where it was installed, when it was installed, what is their user ID, and every information. Using what? Using again ADB, right? Mobile services, IP address of that mobile. So this is what in their mobile phone also, right? This is what like the IP in their mobile. Okay, so you can find like it's all Linux based architecture, but on that basis, you can simply find the list of the processes which are running on the back end. Okay, and system apps, pre-installed applications, and CPU utilization, Wi-Fi status, everything was there. And on that basis, we found that so and so date this application was deployed. Simply, if you uninstall this application, and the best part, do you know, after even uninstalling these applications, still these applications have the artifacts, and still they have some executable process, backdoor process, which are still running on the backend. Front end, the app is over, but that app also use some certain backdoor libraries, and those libraries were still installed and still working in the same pattern. Can you imagine? So finally, we have to get into that mobile, and we found those details, and we try to mitigate that part. So try and understand. Let's say, suppose you are, if I'll ask you how many apps you install in your mobile phones, could be like you will say the answer. Let's say tentative answer. Let's say 30 app, 40 app, 50 apps in the mobile. Let's suppose you are saying 40 app in the mobile. That means according to you it is 40. No, but according to me, according to audit, according to forensics, you will find at least you have 200 plus 40. That means 240 apps or above in your mobile, which are running parallelly at the same time. That all you need to check, which are in the running mode or disable mode or installed or uninstalled mode. So these are the ways we find details. We found information. We'll go for boot chart, dump states. We'll take these dump states of the mobile, and we'll do a lot of forensics onto that. So a lot of things, a lot of tools are there where you can identify and you can work accordingly. I think time is less. Quickly, I just want to take to give you the idea. Sir, use of CH group with example, please. Change group. See, change group, Tiwariji, Balmiki Tiwariji, I believe, right? Okay. So see, CH group is basically you want to change the group. Now, how to change the group? Again, there is an option that first you want to add. So the command is user mod. You use the user mod command where you are adding any specific user. So first you need to identify your user as you are accessing being a user, and that user become a member of that group. So user mod, I'll give you the command. User mod -a, then hyphen uppercase G, then group name where you want to enter, and then a username. Okay, so this is the syntax that how a new user become a member of a group. Okay, or if you want to go for a change group, okay, so chgrp space, then which group, which particular file you want to transfer to which group. So user :group. Okay, so there, this is the instruction where you can find, and you can go for this particular part, and I think you become a member of other groups, or you can switch from one group to another group as well. All right, so quite possible, not a big deal. However, just basic instructions are there. If you go and get into that details, I think you'll find a lot of details, a lot of things in mobile. So again, mobile phone forensics is nothing, but again, you have to be very good in Linux with the forensics commands, investigation commands, searching commands, how to play with the artifacts. You will be more comfortable. I think if you get into these things now, would be really better for you, and you'll understand how these what is the criteria, how technically it works, and how to generate those solutions on that basis, right? So thank you so much for to be a patient listener. I have a limited time, but I think I already exhaust your time, and try to make it more interactive, more practical oriented, your FDP, because actually faculties, and I'm also advisory in AICT with a couple of courses, especially in cybersecurity and these domains. And the vision of AICT, I have seen that they really want that now their faculties should be upgraded up to the latest technology, so that they can even able to serve back to the students. Because now it has been identified, even the student comes to professors and say, you don't know these kind of things, I can do better than you. It's okay. It's okay. I think we are very much open with this particular part, because technology is the domain where actually kids are going to teach to their parents. All right. Where everything as a parent, we used to train to our kids, our students, or our any particular student in any particular sections or so. But frankly speaking, technology is always in the reversal side, because we are indulging various activities and students are only passionate about technology and exploring the tips and tricks, how to hack, how to get into it, how to mitigate, how to block, how to secure, and even especially more interested in hacking actually more than that. So then they feel that I am something more out of even the professor. But see, being a professor, I believe, no, we don't get into this challenge or this competition sort of. But yes, we should be aware of what exactly is going on. And I think not a big deal to understand, because you are already have a great background of your technology. Only the part is we have to brush up our skills in the latest terms, in the latest techniques. So whatever today I have shown you, it's not something out of a blue moon. Might be you are already aware of in case of Linux. But my focus was forensics. And in forensics, I use a Linux command or some Linux instructions, or especially for mobile, I have a kit, open source kit. And on that basis, without using any third party tool, right, basic tools, open source tools or free tools, if you can go and get into that, and I think you can grab almost similar information, where you will you need to pay a very huge amount to run a case. Means for one mobile phone forensics, generally the cost to law enforcement agencies itself is almost 65,000 rupees. Means it was evaluated per case. Can you imagine? And if you already have open source, even we are also doing the same thing. We are opening a center of excellence, and we are deploying this Sedulity operating system, where we have forensics edition, we have ethical hacking edition operating systems with us. Inbuilt, all open source tools. And on that basis, we give a practical hands-on and the details, where you can go, your faculties can do this, your students can do this, and even you can start earning the money on that basis, being working like as an internship while studying or while working. You will also get some case studies, and I think you can also be a better security expert and technology expert. So this is what like the purpose of this session. Thank you so much for giving me the privilege and to interact with you all. Thank you, ma'am, for such a wonderful platform, and to discuss the things with the participants. Even they were also interacting. I really appreciate their effort. In case if they have any doubt, I think I can take one or two questions, but already I think I exhaust your time. Or I share my details personally. If anyone want to connect, you can connect me. I'll share my mobile number. It's 9811485729. If you have any query, you can call me up. It's my WhatsApp number also, and I'll share my email ID also if you want. Right. So my name is Dr. Anup Girdhar, and practicing almost more than 22 years in this domain of cybersecurity, cyber forensics, connected with various law enforcement agencies, carrying some patents also. Luckily, yesterday only I got one more patent acceptance. I applied in Australia also. So from there, I got one more patent listed. And again, a lot of research work. So I'm a enthusiast about technology and working for technology, connected with the academics, connected in research work, connected with law enforcement for investigation and consultancy. So this is all my job, and you're most welcome. Thank you so much for giving me the privilege, to all the eminent speakers and all the dignities from Makhanlal Chaturvedi University for giving me the privilege and to be a part of such a wonderful your event of your FDP. Thank you so much, and Jai Hind.